The battle between analog and digital has been fought for centuries. Well, today, folks, the battle will be won. So we're going to be comparing these two hardware LA2As to the Slate Digital FG2A, which is a model of a specific LA2A. Now, I say specific because, as many people know, no two vintage LA2As will sound the same. Now, why is that? Well, the LA2A came out in the 1960s. So some of these things are 50 years old. And that's fucking old for audio gear. And what happens is the compression element in these boxes, which is called the T4. Can we show that? No? Thank you. So as the T4 ages, it can sound different. I've heard T4s age where they become quicker and they lop off more of the attack. And I've heard the exact opposite happen. So anyway, that's why we have these two units here. We have the vintage unit from NRG, and we have this brand new reissue, which sounds fantastic, and we're going to compare those against the FG2A. So now, let's get calibrated. The first thing we're going to do is calibrate all three compressors by matching their gain reduction precisely. If you've ever seen an audio comparison, and all they do is just set the knobs the same, this is very, very stupid. Not necessary. And the reason is because simply setting the knobs the same does not mean you're getting the exact same gain reduction. And if you're doing a compressor comparison and you don't have the exact same gain reduction, the results are not valid. So without further ado, I give you calibration. Wasn't that fun? So now that we're properly calibrated, you're going to hear a vocal and a drum loop through all three compressors. Here we go.
In the change of a season, I lost track of time. In the change of a season, I lost track of time. In the change of a season, I lost track of time. In the change of a season, 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 in the change of a season. In the change of a season.
So you just heard all three of those compressors on those examples. And I'm going to reveal the results on my Instagram in about a week. But here's a little spoiler alert. You probably heard in the examples that there was one that didn't sound like the other two. And here's the thing. That was one of the hardware pieces. So what I'm trying to say is that the software sounds more like one of the hardware pieces than that hardware piece sounds like the other hardware piece. But here's the other point. All three examples sounded great. I can use any of those compression tones to make a great mix. So who wins the battle of analog versus digital? You knuckleheads do. Because look, great plugins are awesome. Great gear is awesome. But you, as an engineer and your talents, you control the results of your mixes. You make it sound good. So I know there's going to be someone in the comments, some keyboard warrior goes, oh no, example X sounds so much warmer and deeper, and that must be the analog and sounds so much better. Shut up. No, it doesn't. They all sound great. All right, so use whatever plugins or gear you want and make great sounding mixes, and I'll see you next time.